Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. So welcome. So isn't it funny? I wasn't planning on doing another DC video today, but I saw this article on Twitter from Screen Rant, and this is what it says. Henry Cavill jokes Superman held back in BVS Batman fight. Bruce Wayne may have won the title fight in Batman v Superman, but don't let that fool you into thinking the man of steel was truly defeated. As Henry Cavill reminds fans, Superman was holding back the whole time. For comic book fans, the question of who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman, has been hotly debated, addressed, answered and revisited too. Many times to count. They certainly aren't complaining, since Batman and Superman's best fights offer a brand of entertainment unlike any other. But when the two heroes finally come to blows on the big screen, there was no question it was Batman who emerged victorious, coming mere seconds away from ending Superman for good. But as star Henry Cavill points out, it wasn't exactly a fight to the death for both participants. The playful return to his Superman role comes in response to an Instagram post by artist DC publisher Jim Lee, after a sketching session turned into a scene of Superman unleashing his heat vision on Batman's unsuspecting cow. Henry Cavill chimed in to use the image as proof of his Superman's restraint. Oh, brilliant. Jim Lee started as an ARM tutorial on my iPad using Procreate, then realised the hand went nowhere, so invoked the birthday cake only to have it transmute into our favourite Caped Crusader. It's a fair point for Cavill to raise, whether he's merely making a joke or not. It's true that in Batman Hush, the story called out in the post by Jim Lee, Superman suffered from mind control at the hand of Poison Ivy, driving him to give Batman one of the worst beatings he had experienced to that point. However, the fact that Superman was still subconsciously holding back was part of that storyline. And despite Lee's drawing, Superman never actually blew a hole clean through Bruce Wayne's head. In the end, it was only a kryptonite ring that helped save Batman, proving Superman made the right call by entrusting it to him. So Henry Cavill, this is, this is, so basically, I've just read what Jim Lee said, and then Cavill goes, see, was holding back the whole time. It's your Midwestern upbringing, polite to a fault. But when common sense is embraced by modern comics and Superman can kill Batman with a single punch, it goes without saying that the Man of Steel is always holding back, lest the punch a hole through Batman cook him with heat vision, threw him hard enough to kill. The list goes on, which makes it less than honest to suggest Batman seriously beats Superman in any of their fights, up to and including Henry Cavill. And Ben Affleck's bout in Batman v Superman, or whatever fights in confrontation may rest in the future if Henry Cavill ever plays Superman in another DC film. We're not complaining about such an inherent handicap. After all, Cavill and Lee know as well as any DC fan that Superman's restraint is what makes him a hero. It is also what makes Supergirl more dangerous than he ever could be. But that's a conversation for another time. It's a great point though, isn't it? Supergirl doesn't have as much restraint as Superman does, because Superman was brought up by the Kents, and those Midwestern values are what the huge reason why he is what he is. And this really was explained in the Smallville TV show quite beautifully. But that's not really why I want to discuss this. I mean, it's pretty awesome, because if you think about Batman v Superman, Superman's not coming into that fight to attack. He's defending himself. It's Batman who's going at him. It's Batman who's angry. And literally, Superman is defending himself. And I never looked at it that way before. But of course, Superman's holding back. Of course he is, whether Cavill's joking or not. But the point is not that. The point is, a couple of weeks ago, I said he was done. I heard he was done. And past couple of weeks, he started talking about Superman again. No one asked him to. He came in and commented via his own Instagram account to talk about this. Of course, this excites fans. I would think especially with his new projects coming out soon, he wouldn't be talking much Superman. Obviously, he loves Superman. He loves talking about him. He's proud he played Superman. I think he's a great Superman. I just hope this means that maybe sooner rather than later, we could get some news that Henry Cavill will return as Superman. And that news is just as big as hearing the Snyder Cut's going to be released.